Good afternoon, everybody. BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Just felt like getting out the house. It's about noon. Did my shaving, everything I needed to do shaving. To be honest with you, this is one of those situations where it is so cold, so very cold, that you got to psych yourself to get out of bed. Because the room holds cool air better than any room I've had since being in this hotel. I don't know why that is. I think it's because it's been colder lately, and I usually black out the room by keeping the covers closed, because I said to you guys, right outside my window is like the lobby where the people like to smoke cigarettes and sit out there and talk. So it's like I don't really like all that type of anxiety that I have, type of mental health stuff that I got going on. I'd much rather be not seen in there, so it's a little more need for privacy than any other room that I've been in. So what ends up happening is it traps the cool air in. And so that's a good thing when it's hot, but when it's cold, it's not. And when you couple that with the fact that I have to take these damn cold showers, because these showers only get to about warm at the most, so it's been really uncomfortable in there for me in regards to those things. But you know, I'm not too unhappy. Today's shower was a bit warmer than usual. I don't know if either I'm getting used to it or just a little hotter today. I don't know, but it was still kind of above warm, I guess is what I would call it. Tolerable, but not very. Especially when you get out of it and get to drying off, you're freezing. So it's one of them type of things where got out of bed. I was feeling negative this morning. I wasn't too positive, but I did my meditation, asked the Lord to kind of help me through that, work through that. A lot of what was frustrating me was just the compound frustration of taking cold showers on top of all the other problems that I had. It's just like, man, and I can't even enjoy it. It was that kind of thing. So it was like, Lord, just work me through that. Meditated through that. I felt great. Woke up, did my exercise, did my eating, took that warm shower, so to speak, and then did my Laker video and felt pretty good after that. It wasn't nothing else really I was complaining too much about. So now I'm just telling him to get me through, get me where he wants me to go today. Just have a good day. The Laker game is at 7:30, so it ain't going to be no need to hurry up and rush home today for the first time all week. And so just want to do whatever it is that he wants me to do with my day, and also ask him to help me continue to keep up my my other workout regimen, my squats. I did them earlier this week every day. But over the last 2 days, I haven't found an opportunity to do them. I was really sore yesterday, so I definitely wasn't going to do them yesterday. So there's just a lot of stuff going on health-wise that's been a challenge as far as food digesting and things of that nature. Some of the same problems I've been talking about for the last 2 years. Been having them pretty bad these last 3 days. So that was part of the problem as well. It's just trying to manage, but I'm getting out the house. It's kind of cold out here, to be honest with you. I should have brought my jacket today. But, just walking around, figured I'd get out there, maybe go try to get myself a few things that I need. Some batteries for my shaver and a little stuff, nothing too serious. Maybe go to a Target or something. I don't know, but yeah, this is just one of them days when I felt like I needed to psych myself to get out the house. If otherwise I was going to stay in bed just out of the sheer nature of it being kind of cold. And so, that's understandable. On days like this, it's understandable when the heat ain't really there. But I'm not that person anymore as it pertains to enjoying being in the house and just not doing nothing with my day. That's over with, man. That is legitimately over with. So I figured, hey, man, there's probably something out here that I can do. Maybe catch a train somewhere, bus somewhere, I don't know. Just do what I've been doing. Usually find a destination. By the time I get to where I'm going, I'm happy I've went. That's usually how that goes for me. So, I wasn't going to stay in the house today. I did not feel like that was the move. I wasn't feeling my best to begin with. So trapping myself in that house was just going to make it worse, I'm certain. But, it's just one of those days where it's all about God. It's all about leaning on Him for me. Every day should be leaning on Him, but especially today when I wake up in the morning with the same problems. More of a solution as it pertains to the finances based on my family getting that money into me earlier. but still having negative thoughts in my head. I'm like, nah, we ain't doing this. None of them had anything to do with K either. So I knew I was just tripping. It wasn't real, man. But by the time I finished my Laker video, I was good. Finished taking that shower. I was good. So at this point, it's just like, all right, let's get out here. Let's see what's what. And try to warm up, man. I'm telling y'all, I'm freezing. Not right now, really, because the sun is on me. But it is comfortably warm. This feels like the temperature of the shower, to be honest with you. That's what the temperature of the day feels like. Probably about 73 at the most with the sun on you. Sun ain't beaming too hot, which is a good thing in the valley, but not when you've been sitting in an ice freezer all morning. Trying to hope it would be a little warmer than this. But you know, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's only noon, so there's a day to be had. And you know, I just trust him. I trust God, man. I'm telling y'all, like, that's really where my head is. I've learned that living enough of these days like this, where I was feeling this way and doing it the wrong way, didn't serve me at all. And versus seeing how God has been working in certain things, kind of helping me and improve my energy in situations, to now it's like, okay, when I get hit with one of these mornings, I kind of have a whole new way of I want to approach it this year. I have a whole new way I want to go about it. I got gratitude in my heart based on just a fundamental understanding that the Lord is there, and I should be thankful for that. The idea that he can work things out, and maybe I don't see a path to him working it out. He's already proven that throughout the course of this circumstance. So it's just a lot of stuff that I'm like, all right, let's see the challenge of the day and meet it with a different way of approaching. Hello? Different way of approaching the day, you know, as opposed to thinking like, all right, excuse me, thank you, I'm mad and it's going to be a bad day. I don't think like that no more. It's a good day. I'm going to be happy one way or another because I'm going to open myself to being happy. And then from there, let good things come my way. That's it. So that's how I approach it, man. Appreciation, gratitude, thankfulness. And then from there, efforts in moving forward and welcoming good things, being thankful for what it is that I have. You know, I look down, I see my new shoes, even though they're getting worn down already from all the walking. The point is they're the ones that I wanted. They're comfortable. Can't think of how many times I bought new shoes and I had to work them into walking. Feeling good, you know, they'd hurt when you first purchase them. Not having that problem is one of those little comforts of life. Given the fact that I'm on my feet so much, the last thing I wanted was shoes that were bad for my feet out the gate when they would be the only one I would be wearing. So it's like, these are little things that you could be thankful for. You ain't even got to think too much about them. Take them for granted if you like, but also show gratitude when you recognize that that's what the case is. I don't think I've bought 3 pair of shoes in my life that felt this comfortable out the gate. Never. And to have not even bought them in a store and they haven't sent to me, that's lovely, man. So these are the type of things like, yo, man, God is working things out. He may have had an attack on your spirit this morning, but it's likely because the enemy wants to continue to try to compound you with frustration. That really doesn't have to be in place, but for your own attitude toward what it is you're faced with. And you think about all that could be wrong. You think about what people in Gaza are going through this morning. People in the West Bank are going through right now. Being, you know, going through just horrible, torturous realities that it seems like there's nothing there for them but to die and be tortured all the way out. Some of them are, you know, the way Israel wants to treat them is having them wish to die. That's what they want them people to feel, like to have them wanting to quit on life, on each other and all that. And this, you know, these type of strength that they're not displaying, they're not showing that type of weakness, rather to help you understand, yo, whatever your little problem is or whatever your big problem is, look at what they're surviving. Look at what they have to go through. Look at what they have to deal with, and look how much faith they're applying to their day. The least I can do is get out with the face and face the things that I need to face with a smiling face, you know, more or less. So I tell you, man, if nothing else, those people are inspiring me to approach my problems with a different mentality. And their perceived problems is not so much a problems when you really consider them. Especially since I'm able-bodied. You know, I'm looking at kids starting their lives off saw a little girl with her thigh ripped open completely. Just more of the same carnage that Israel's applying to these people. See her mom screaming and stuff. It's starting to get normal seeing people in agony and stuff like that, which is not a good thing at all. But that's what you're used to seeing now for the last 2 months. You look in your phone, if you're on Instagram following the people I follow, that's what you see every day, every hour. And the fact that this ceasefire has ended, the truce has ended, and now they're back to feeding that bloodthirst. Israel is feeding that bloodthirst for baby blood. You get to see more of that stuff in your phone. They're back at it, man. And so, for me, it's like, well, I live in a society where, for worse, for much worse, I would say for better, but it ain't for better because we're the ones benefiting from them doing this. It's our bombs and our tax dollars are sending that over to them to be bombed with. Biden just sent them a 2,000-pound bomb, and then they level towers that they threatened to bomb. I heard, the sad thing for me, it's in seeing what they just did today, was I was aware of the threat. Because of the people I follow, I get to see the threat. We're going to bomb the towers. They got 30 minutes to leave. I saw the threat on my phone. Based on people who follow, I follow. So I knew this was coming. And then to see it happen, it's like, yo, man, that's the reality we're in right now. That's the reality I am in right now. I don't know how many people follow as closely as I do. I have been following this for the last 7 weeks. But because of who I follow, I get to know something's coming, and just like those people do. And then proceed to watch it happen after it does. It's a real curse, man. It's a real curse. It's a horrible thing those people are going through. And then to see people get on TV and say that they full of, that the people that they're doing this to are filled with hate and filled with a culture of killing. It's like the projection of the people who are doing this is really it's crazy, man. It's insanity. It's absolute insanity. It's like a warped, sick mentality that a whole nation of people have agreed to engage in. It's absolutely insane, man. It's like narcissism and some type of psychomaniac type of energy that they all just appear to be engaged in. It's like, yo, how did they even warp a whole community of people into thinking this is okay? From parts of this country to parts of other countries to their own country. It's like, man, that is real evil, man. Like the actual evil that we've been talking about and seeing little pieces of. We're starting to really see the full thing right now. We're talking about the people behind the curtain and how they want to, use the black image to continue to warp the black people into thinking that they're less than and that the only thing they should look forward to having is materialized things that don't have nothing to do with God and all this. Now you're really seeing what that was hinting at, what that energy actually was, that we were actually getting hints of and little tastes of. This is where it looks like when it's full blown, shown, and at its most in its final form, I guess is what you can say. And so when I see it, I'm like, man, I'm not surprised by any of this, because this is just, when you get a taste tester or something, and then you finally taste the meal, you finally get the whole plate in front of you, you get a good bite of this, it's like, oh, this is what this was that I've been tasting the whole time. This is that ingredient that they've been throwing at me a little bit. Now I know what it actually is. That's what this is for me. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I've been sensing that the whole time. That is the same thing that they've been doing to us, just in a much lesser way. All of the psychological torture that they've been applying to these people are things that slaves had to go through. And if you follow the history of slavery in this country and the psychological applications of terror that were placed upon the minds of the slaves, then you will understand exactly what page Israel is taking all of what it is that they're doing out of. You will know exactly where that's coming from. You will recognize the tactics. You will recognize exactly what they're trying to accomplish by way of what ended up getting accomplished when they did it to our ancestors. It's like, yo, that's what the world needs to be studying right now. Because that's what Israel's been studying. Psychological warfare and torture, slow burning, Chinese water torture type energy. That's what they're doing to these people. Have them anticipating the worst of things, have them fearful of their children, have them trying to put it into their psychology that they don't deserve to live and that they deserve to suffer. Any of the survivors supposed to want to kill themselves. Anybody that dies supposed to die horrible. Like, these are the type of things they're doing to these people, man. And so it's like, yo, if you study what they did to the slaves, what was done to the slaves, you'll know exactly what's happening to the Palestinians, because they done it to them. They did it to the slaves, man. It's exactly what they're doing to these people. Like, yo, I've seen this movie before. You did it to us for 400 years. We know exactly what this is. And so that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. This is warped, but it's not new, man. It's just a taste of what we've already had. We've ate that before. That's a meal we done already had. And the part that bothers me is that there's still a lot of black Americans that are not at all invested or even aware fully of what's going on over there. And because we're enriched in the Christian religion, we're likely going to side with Israel outright and then have to be convinced that Israel is not right in some miraculous way if we're not paying attention to what it is that I'm seeing every day. Because by way of the religion we follow, Israel is righteous. And then you listen to the stuff that you've been listening to your whole life, your NBCs, your ABCs, and they're telling you Israel is righteous. And they're our allies, and we are going to fund what they do, and they have a right to defend themselves against the babies and all this other stuff. But that's really what it is. They defend themselves against toddlers who may grow up to maybe terrorize them, which is, to be honest with you, projection. Because what I've learned about these people, just like I said at the beginning of the video, they're terrorizing people with things that they're projecting themselves. You know, the things that they say, they're trying to label these people the same stuff that they actually are. So what they're probably doing is raising their kids to be terrorists. But they don't see it as terrorism. They see it as righteous conquering or some warped evil type of bullcrap. And it's like, what they need to understand is, and what all of us need to understand is, they are using a lot of bombs on non-threats. They are blowing up business opportunities for themselves and the overall vision of what it is that they are about on non-threats. Non-threats. And that's what America needs to understand. You can be indifferent to the killing of left and right, up and down. You can be indifferent. But once you start realizing they're using precious ammo on defenseless people, then you start understanding your money's being wasted. And that's what I'm waiting for America to start understanding. Like, yo, I get it. You don't have a heart. You can give a shit about those people. I'm fine with that. If that's who you are, live with yourself. But at what point in time do you start looking at it from an economic standpoint and say, yo, our tax dollars really are going into some bullshit, man. They really are taking 200-pound bombs that probably took 6 months to build to drop on residential buildings for people that don't have anything. Isn't this a world about value? You don't give a shit about the poor. Why are you wasting billion-dollar bombs on killing the poor? See, that's where America needs to come around and understand. It's like, if you want to be this indifferent type of energy, you don't care nothing about nobody, you need to look at where the economics is going down the wayside. You're throwing money down the toilet, fam. They're killing babies. You got real enemies. And while you're trying to align with these guys on their psycho mission, they wasting money, making themselves bad for business, pointing the whole world against them. Civil unrest is going to start. People are still seeing the stuff that I've been seeing for the last 6 weeks. They're starting, the new people are waking up. New minds are waking up to this. It's getting to a point where it's like, And a much, much, much different conversation when you start saying, I can't defend you. My favorite basketball player, he's not playing well. I want him not to be traded, but he's not playing well, so it's hard to defend him. This is what's going on over there on a much different conversation. It's like, it's hard to defend y'all. We're trying to be your friends. We're trying to have you, we're trying to keep up the jig for y'all, sending y'all bombs and stuff so you can defeat your enemies. But your enemies is babies. Your enemies is poor people who can't hurt you at all. And all you doing is riling up the people who can to hate us, you, them. Like at some point in time, America just gotta look around and say, yo, bro, this is a waste of our time and money. Even the worst of America needs to come around to understand how ridiculous this fight is that they have right now. This is a ridiculous fight. For a bleeding heart like myself, then it's like humanity. I hate what I'm seeing. They're killing babies. It's traumatizing. But for those who don't have a heart, where's the reasoning? This is bad for business. They wasting money. They using billion-dollar bombs on children. What, how are we spending our money right now, yo? Like, I'm waiting for the people who are practical to come around and saying that. You got civil unrest all over the world. People getting mad. People don't want to work. People want to boycott big companies. At some point in time, you got to look around and say, yo, these people bad for business, man. And then they're throwing our money away. And I'm starting to realize that, yo, if I didn't care nothing about this, and I'm looking around, I'm telling you that the thing that comes to my mind is, where y'all laundering that money? That's where my head goes. Where the hell is all that? If you're going to take $1 billion bomb and drop it on homeless people, what's actually going on with the money? That's laundering. I'm just waiting for somebody, anybody who's not afraid but doesn't necessarily care to start seeing the practical aspect of this as just basically some bull crap, some real bull crap, man. Now, if you're a human like myself, then of course it's some bull crap. But if you're just an animal that just wants to get $1, this is still some real bull crap, friend. This is still bad. Like, what are we doing? If people can't hurt them, fam. And I'm telling you, anything you're trying to build, if I'm a practical individual, genocide is going to get in the way of the public opinion of different things that I want to sway. If I'm some Arab country and I got an election coming up in some type of situation, you taking over the Gaza Strip is making it so that my people looking at me crazy for not stopping you from doing it. Now I got to react to that. Are you paying for that, Israel? These are the type of conversations that need to be had amongst people that don't give a shit about people. Who could care less about babies, anything bomb bursting in the air. They just care about a buck. The people who care about a buck needs to tell me, need to help my brain understand how this should be allowed even then. How is this allowed even then? It don't make no sense on no level. And America is backing a fool, it seems. And to talk about them, well, they have their hands in our money. Well, there are lawyers and our doctors. But you got civil unrest in every one of your lands. Everywhere, millions of people coming by the droves. Every time they look in their phone, they become even more passionate about stopping work. They become even more passionate about blocking freeways and stuff. It's only going to get more of that. Putting pressure on politicians who already sway with the wind. I mean, if Israel has that much power, then why is this so messy? If Israel has so much power, then why are they aiming their interests at children? Can't they wipe out that place without making it so messy? What is the good in that? Unless you're warped in that mentality, which is bad for business, as we can clearly see. It just gets to a point where people got to start looking around saying, yo, I may not be a bleeding heart, but this is bleeding pocket money. This is bleeding money, man. And if they got that much power, then what happened to the ethics of things making any sense at all based on the value system in this country? A guy like me, broke as hell, you want to give me $200 a month in a place where it takes $2,000 a month to pay rent? I don't matter that much, obviously, because dollar amounts is what matters. And if you can't make up the money difference, then what's just the point of me following you down the path of anything in terms of investment? Why are we investing billions of dollars in people who are going to drop those dollars in the form of bombs on poor people who don't make no money for nobody? Who ain't making no money for nobody? That's what I'm saying. This bleeds even past economics as far as I can tell. And for those who are saying, well, they just want to take over the Gaza Strip, we got oil pipeline agreements, this, that, and the third. Man, people are going to screw up your agreements in the various places from which you are standing. While you're trying to reach over there to have the gas, your whole country is just going by the wayside around you because people are sick of what they're seeing in their phones. So how does that make sense? The only part of this makes sense to me is if they truly plan on wiping out humanity and allowing AI and artificial intelligence and more or less robots to take over all the working. Because then you have to be able to account for the people who are not going to want to work after this. You have to take into account those who are not going to earn for your companies, for which you are settling into what Israel's doing by paying into them and continue to support them while they're doing this. It's like at some point in time, people got to understand, yo, if you want to still be Israel friend, you got to get Netanyahu and his buddies the hell out of there and new people in place who can make it look like y'all still a viable friend to anybody at all but your craziness. And that's the problem. And I don't care what these people keep telling you. Those are the conversations that are really being had behind those closed doors, man. Where power is being really, really discussed. You got to get to a point where say, yo, these friends of ours, they not really friends to anybody right now. They're crazy. And because they have so much power, they get to move forward in their crazy mission. And this crazy mission don't really do nothing for nobody long term because everybody's looking at them and their flag like it's the worst thing in the world. The Israeli flag is basically a swastika to most people right now. How the hell are they good to do business with? Why would you share the gas with them? That wasn't the world we were in 6 months ago. So if you want to keep the plans that you had in place for 6 months, you got to change what you're looking at in your numbers. What you're projecting to make based on doing business with these people has to change drastically based on what it is they've done and how they're now being viewed by the common public. Unless you don't need the common public at all anymore, as to which we all need to be moving in a direction that protects ourselves if that's what the reality is. Because if they don't need the working public anymore, and they don't need tax dollars anymore, and they can make a way for themselves without us completely, that's the only way this makes any sense. That the world's populace no longer is needed to gain the money and the power and what's necessary in regards to each and every country that unrest is taking place. Basically, robots need to be able to take over everything in order for any of this to make any sense to this brain. And they don't have that structure in place. You don't have everybody locked down mentally to where you can be certain that we're not going to come through and destroy shit. Let's just be honest. When people start rushing various different buildings, do you have enough protection to stop these things from happening in these various countries? Maybe America does with our army, but can you do that over there, friend? Can you do that over there? Can you do that over there? No. You're going to have issues, real ones. And this is what you're allowing Israel to do? Is to set this up? How the hell does that make sense for money? How the hell does that make sense for power? How does that make sense for the stabilization of various lands where people are going to be at? You'll be driving all the richest people into the desert. They think they driving those people into the desert. Y'all gonna be the ones driven into the desert by us poor people who get sick of this, who outnumber y'all. That's the part that's like, yo, y'all barely holding on to this dystopian bullcrap. Barely holding on. When it goes kapooey and everybody starts realizing that nobody's buying the bullcrap at all, you're gonna start seeing civil unrest all over the world, man. And y'all gonna let Israel do that to you? Please, man. Ain't no way I'm about to believe that. I don't believe that. Either that, or people don't see this angle in some very important places, as to which that would be interesting. That would be really interesting. I'll tell you right now. Hitler was brought down, Stalin was brought down, and anybody that ended up being bad for business for his interest, for the interest of the world's conglomerate of trillionaires or whatever, went down. They don't let these people do what it is that they're trying to do fully, only to a point for which makes sense to them. The problem is, from where I'm sitting, they've allowed that to go way too far, man. They've allowed this to go way too far. And like I said, Israel may be nestled in certain places that keep certain structure in place. They may be, lawyers, doctors, this, that, and the third. But what are you upholding? If you allow the bad guys to be nestled in every bit of your structure, but the various branches of everything you have deteriorates itself, then all you have is a structure. The branches are gone. What is it holding up? This is what I'm trying to get people to follow me to understand. You may have a very strong foundation. They may be nestled in every bit of what keeps this thing going. But if the branches are going to fall off because of their behavior, then what are they holding up? And that's why I think Arab countries has got it wrong. A lot of the Arab countries are supposed to be stopping this from happening, but they're afraid that their infrastructure going to fall apart. They're afraid that, these people going to mess with their money. They're afraid they're going to get bombed themselves. They got it wrong, man. It's just mismanagement of what it is you're looking at. These guys are destroying the entire world with what they're doing. You just don't see the remnants of that right now. You don't see that yet. Not everybody knows what's going on over there yet in these superpowers from which they control. Once America gets a real whiff of what they're doing and how they've been under basically some type of dystopian hypnotism for the last couple of years, it's going to go crazy around here. It's going to get real crazy. A lot of the people here don't know what's happening, friends. That's why it looks like we're aligned with this. We're not aligned with this. We're just nestled in the culture that we're used to. These are the same people who've been telling us this is this, that is that. And we've been listening to it our whole lives. Our grandparents listened to it for their whole lives. Our parents knew this for their whole lives. Of course, we're still listening to CNN. It took this for me to realize what it is that I'm looking at. And a lot of people aren't looking at what I'm looking at. They're still celebrating celebrities, and those celebrities are quiet. They turn on CNN. CNN's telling them Israel's the good guy. And Hamas ain't even a real thing, man. Hamas is a, to me, based on what I'm looking at, Hamas is the division of Israel. Those are their people. Those are their people. Any negotiation is like one hand negotiating with the other hand. It's the same body, fam. I wouldn't trust Hamas either. Why? Because they're Israel. It's an inside job. They got all their people in there. They built all the tunnels that Hamas allegedly finds themselves nestled in, or where they at? Yeah, over there. Thing that you built, right? What they using? The same bombs that you gave them, right? That you got from us? I mean, it's just like, man, that shit is garbage. And anybody that buys that is stupid. No disrespect, because a lot of us just don't know any better. But like, if you're buying that and you're still looking at what I'm looking at, you're just lacking in intellect. Hamas is not a real thing, man. It may be guised as if it's a real thing, and it may have roots that date back to what you, however long. But believe me, man. Believe me when I tell you, it's not a thing. It's not a thing at all. One hand, the other hand. That's it. That's all that is, man. I don't believe that bullcrap. Hamas is not a thing. And so this is what I'm telling all of y'all, man. I pray about this every day. I'm just a talking head. I don't know nothing. There's probably some details to everything. It probably boils down to somebody sleeping with somebody's wife or some weird stuff. It always does boil down to something very low frequency as it pertains to letting people do certain things, man. If we think it's some massive this, nah, he just letting him do that because he mad at him over there. It's that kind of stuff a lot of times that make it so that the biggest things in the world actually are allowed to happen. But I'm telling you, for those of us who want to see the world actually continue to spin properly after all of this shakes out, we had better do something to put reasonable individuals in the position that Israel's individuals are in, that are structured so tight that we can't even tell the world, hey, yo, they killing kids over there. Oh, no, we can't do that because, in politics. That for which that is needs to move on. That needs to go. If they're your lawyers, your doctors, you can get them the hell out of there. If they're your Congress people, this, that, and the third, they need to get the hell out of there, bro. You need them out of where they are. Because that for which you are stuck is going to make it so that what you are trying to hold together falls apart. That is it. It's exactly what it is, man. The nature of what it is that you're trying to keep together will fall apart if you continue to let these people control what it is they control right now. That keeps you silent amongst things like this. Because this ain't the type of thing that you want to not to be able to speak about. Not for the sake of wealth, not for the sake of even your own reasonable thoughts. You want to be able to speak upon this as you see fit. And what I'm seeing is a country full of people who can't speak on this, even if they wanted to, because they're afraid of what it is that is in control, falling apart based on those who are holding it together, being the ones doing this. And I'm telling you, man, that is a bad foundation for going forward. A terrible one. So while you may think this is fine, maybe you hate them people too, whatever your thing is, that is not what I'm trying to talk to you about. I'm talking to you about the deterioration of all financial structure based on how bad for business the foundation has become. While they're trying to do whatever they're trying to do, however that looks, the whole world is looking at them like, yo, I don't want to go to work. I want to protest. I want to, all this. And what does that do for your foundation going forward? Your capitalism going forward, what does that do? I'd imagine nothing good, friends. I imagine nothing good. Like I said, you can have the branches and the foundation be in place, but if every leaf is falling off, what kind of tree do you have? What are you actually holding up? And so that's what I'm trying to get people to see that I see, man. It's nothing good at all about this dystopian nightmare. You could try to control the people, but eventually the people are going to, by word of mouth, learn what it is that I've been seeing for the last 6 weeks. And then from there, they're going to want to do something about it. And the more people who know, the less control those who are holding the branches up actually have. Y'all can keep on letting this go the way it's going. But when people start finding out what the hell's going on, they're going to have to make a decision of whether or not they want to act like they give a damn for the betterment of their brand, or go along with this and hope that those who are holding it together can somehow undo the bad business practices for which this is brought about. Bad business image, rather, for which this has brought about, is what I'm trying to say. They look like Nazis. Why in the hell am I going to buy anything they own? And for those whales out there who think, well, I mean, we got control over everything, this, that, and the third, remember, the apes still exist. Remember, we are not gone. We're not gone. So those black rocks and all those big guys, you need to remember, what you have a lot of what your money in is at risk, so long as people like this still know what the hell you did. You over leverage yourself, friends. You over leverage yourselves. So that foundation over there is not stable. Is that why you need to go forward and allowing them to do everything? Because they're the ones that can help you on the back end of this? That makes sense. When you're about to bleed out of $15-16 trillion, and this is the only way you can get that money back, and you can't tell everybody that you did this, because if you do, they're going to get you up out of there. Those who are in position to kill the babies know that too, and they're the only ones that can save you from over-leveraging yourself in the way that you did, stifling the world's economy from the entire world. Oh, I'm not supposed to know that. Why would you sit back and let people kill children? Why? Because you're guilty of something. And if you speak on it, kaplooey. I know what it is. Remember, some of us are still out here. The apes still exist. We know what you did, and we know why you can't talk. We know what's at risk, and we know it's even more money than what you think you're going to make over the next course of several years by doing business with those crazy bastards. We know. And that's why they get to move in the way they're moving right now. Because they know you're not going to do a damn thing about it. No matter how bad it is, no matter how much your heart bleeds, you're not going to do anything about it because they know if you speak on that, you lose everything. That's why America's in their back pocket, because America's been stealing money from its own people for a very long time by way of the stock market. America ain't gonna say a damn thing. Yeah, man, yeah, we're not supposed to know that. No, we ain't supposed to know that. And God knows what else they've been doing to kids. Now, mind you, sex trafficking, child trafficking, all different types of evils. You don't think it's governments that allow this to happen? Why do you think they have such poor care for the destruction of children? The guilty will always be quiet. They can't talk. The Epstein Island celebrities of the world, they ain't gonna say nothing. Because the first thing they open their mouth to say is gonna be snitches coming out of the woodwork saying, well, you know, we sent them to the island. That's why half of y'all ain't saying nothing. I know this. They got everybody guilty as hell, man. That's what it is. It's guilt that's keeping these people quiet, not indifference, not fear. Guilt. Because all of y'all done did some wacky behavior, terrible stuff that we would condemn you for. So you would be best to just stay in line, let them go about their evil ways, so that all of y'all can stay in y'all nice little mansions, nestled in your position of power, from whatever little position you may have, free of the times that are coming for you when you do what it is that you've already done. You don't get to be held accountable. You can just sit back and enjoy your lives and hope to go into the ground rich people, but I promise you, man, they have put that at risk. By doing this, they put that at risk. Why? Because they're supposed to be holding everything together and they're making themselves look bad. They the ones supposed to be keeping y'all out of jail, and they doing stuff that makes everybody want to throw them in hell. How does that work? Doesn't work. You got a time limit on everything that y'all trying to hold together. If what I'm saying holds any merit, you got about a year left. With that stock market over leveraging bull crap, and little plans y'all trying to have to do the gas over there, whatever that is, that's going by the wayside too. Half of y'all in power and positions, presidents, all this, y'all gonna be voted out. Y'all better be rigging them elections like crazy to stay in power going forward. You know it. Anybody with a brain know that these bastards better rig every election. They better rig every election, not just the U.S., Canada, that one over there, that one over there. They better rig them all. It's the only way to stay in power. If you let the people have any say-so, you're out. Because it is. Not because of anything that y'all did that we've always seen you do. No, because we seeing what you're doing right now, what you allowing them to do over there. Traumatizing all of us and our kids. Killing them and theirs. You think we're going to sit back and just say, yo, well, people aren't rich enough for that. It's only a small portion of people rich enough to be quiet in a situation like this. Man, we ain't got nothing to lose. What the hell are we going to be quiet for? What's in it for us? And that's the point. That's the point. They didn't let everybody get rich. If they would have let everybody get rich, then everybody would be in a position to shut their mouths so they have so much to lose. Not everybody got everything to lose, friend. Can't do this shit in a world full of poor people. It's too many of them, it's too few of you. You're gonna have to use them damn bombs. You're gonna have to. And that's the point. It's a lot of them quiet because they're afraid them bombs gonna get used. They're gonna get used. These assholes are assuring that. They're putting a target on their back that makes people want to press buttons all over the world. Not everybody's afraid of them, fam. They're just trying to figure out how the hell they can get to them. That's all that is. They ain't afraid of them. Just because they apply these psychological this, that, and the third to those people who can't do nothing about it, you think everybody who's sitting back chilling, who has the means of doing something, is not trying to figure out how they can get to those people? They're trying to get to their ass. Because they fear the same thing I would. They're going to turn their attention to my kids next. And they probably ain't going to do it while I'm above ground either. They're going to do it when I'm gone. Can't let it happen. You think China ain't thinking that? Get out of here. Like I said in the last video, they're not the only team in town. And with people like Elon running around, I don't know why they trust him. I don't know why they trust Elon. But I tell you, that's probably one of the biggest mistakes they ever made. Is thinking that that dude is on their side. That was crazy. And yeah, I get it. He's doing all the right things. He's making sure that his platform does this, that, and the third to make himself look like he's aligned with them. But trusting him, if you're them, nah, that ain't smart. That ain't smart at all. This dude is building space stations while y'all trying to steal land. Think about that. He's trying to get us there, up there, while you trying to steal stuff down here. And you trust him? So I'm telling you, arrogance to have somebody doing dumb shit. That is dumb shit. He gonna be the end of them. If anybody gonna be the end of them, my prediction is him. As I said many times over, just because they say they're people of God does not mean they understand the context for which people of God would actually move. We would never do this. We don't need to do this. You ain't gotta harm people that can't harm you and take land from people that you can't even live in the first place. That ain't a godly thing to do. That's stupid. You're gonna die there of cancer. What the fuck you want to take that land for? Think about it. It's just stupid. But when you're driven by evil and ego, and you got something in a book that's 7,000 years old telling you got a right to do this, you're not gonna use your brain to see if it even makes any sense to do this. It don't make no sense. You can't even live there. Not without having serious skin issues. Why? Why you're gonna destroy your entire image to do it? Make it make sense. You're gonna make yourself bad for business all over the world so that you can do that. And you think your allies are gonna see you as a good ally going forward? Hell no. It doesn't make any sense. Video 44. I'll thank you all for watching. I'm out.